Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's Sunday, February 26th, 2023, and I'm going to be taking off this cover, which is called an oil transfer housing. There's one bolt in the center because my O-rings are bad and I'm getting oil. I have an oil leak here dripping down, so I'm going to take that off. First, I'm going to just take these 3 wires off. Mine may not be the right color codes because I extended these wires, but it's all good. They do what they're supposed to be doing, and they're going where they're supposed to be going. Okay. Okay, sorry about the angle. Okay, so it's off. I got these wires in the way, sorry. I can't hold the phone correct. But that's what it looks like. The surface looks good. I'm just going to scrape it with a razor blade, get some of that white stuff off, which is kind of at the top in between like 9 and 12 o'clock there. I'll show you what the cover looks like. Alright, here's what my cover looks like. Now, it has the correct washer here. That looks correct. I'm not sure. See this black? Somebody must have put a gasket in here or something. But that's not on the drawing. That's not on the diagram, so I'm not putting that in. Shouldn't need that. It's got an O-ring on the inside. Here's my oil sending unit. Okay, so this is kind of situated like this with the writing on the bottom. So when I flip it, this is what you see. Got your O-ring there on the bolt. And around here is a very thin O-ring. Look, oh, someone put some, look at that. Look, some RTV here. I mean, you shouldn't need RTV. Incidentally, my bolt was not torqued down. It was loose. But there's nothing left of this O-ring. Look at it. It's flat. Who knows how old that O-ring... Look at it. I mean, look at this. It's flat. So you shouldn't really need RTV. Maybe they just used it to hold... Oop, the wind's blowing. Maybe they just used the RTV to hold the O-ring in, so it don't fall out when you're putting it on. And the center O-ring, that's no problem, because the bolt kind of holds that. Okay, bye. Okay, everything's apart. There was a considerable amount of RTV. See this stuff? Here's the washer that was in the middle bolt. I mean the O-ring. And for some reason, somebody had this O-ring or whatever it is, rubber washer or O-ring under this washer. But you shouldn't need that because the O-ring inside that goes here should prevent any oil from coming through that center tunnel there. Now, as you could see, here's the O-ring I bought, the part number. And I think they made it a little bit large because I stuck it in there and it stayed. So I'm trying to do this without using any RTV because an O-ring really shouldn't need any RTV. So what I'm going to do, my method is to put the bolt in and just thread through the new O-ring. Just thread through it. But not enough that the bolt's going to interfere with me holding the housing against the motor. Here's the part for the little O-ring. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. It's staying in there. Remember, it's only got to hold it for a few seconds. Obviously, if it comes out, I will have a leak. And see, there's a hole here. There's a dimple in the engine block that goes in that hole. Make sure those line up. Don't get any RTV inside your oil sending unit in there. Make sure it's all cleaned out, this whole channel here. And that's it. We're going to put it on now, and it's 34 foot-pounds on this bolt. And by the way, this bolt was extremely loose on my car, so I'm not sure what someone did there. Maybe over time it came loose, but it was definitely not anywhere near 34 foot-pounds. Probably not even near a few foot-pounds. Okay, I may have to change my plan because I was hoping the center O-ring would grip the bolt, but as you could see, it just fell out onto the ground, and there goes the washer. Hold on, cut. Okay, so my new method will be to push this on the car, right? Then start threading in. Push it on. See, I can go at an angle here, and that O-ring, the threads are kind of holding that center O-ring. So I'm just gonna get the bolt inside the hole so the O-ring can't fall off. Okay, you're gonna feel for that. Get that center bolt inside the hole. You don't even have to thread it, just hold it against it. You could thread it a couple of threads, and then I'm going to just push the housing inward like this. Make sure it catches the dimple on the engine block, goes in that little hole there, because it's got to be aligned properly. And then I'm just going to screw in the bolt. There's no way I can fail. Alright everyone, as you could see, success. So basically the O-ring is just hanging on the threads. So the big O-ring is captured by the slot because it's a tiny bit oversized, so it'll stay in there long enough. But it's actually the little O-ring that kind of annoyed me, that it didn't kind of like grip the threads of the bolt. So, but if you're just careful and align it, you're going to get that bolt in the center hole. The O-ring is on the threads. You got about a ½ inch of the bolt threads beyond the O-ring. Okay? And so once that bolt is in the hole where the threads are, the O-ring cannot fall out. Okay? And you could just look on the ground to see if you dropped it. Okay? See if it's on the ground. If it's on the ground, then you lost it. The big O-ring, I'm just hoping it stayed in place. I really don't know if it did. I don't think it fell out because it really had no reason to fall out. It was in there, nice, and so now I'm just going. Also screw the bolt in while you're holding the housing. Screw the bolt in while you're holding the housing. Do not let go of the housing, because then you're going to lose the big O-ring. Screw the bolt in all the way. Make sure your dimple is in the hole. And tighten her up. So I'm just going to torque it down, and that'll be it. I'm going to end this video now. Thank you for watching, everybody. Any questions? Let me know. I mean, if you have to use RTV to hold in the O-rings, then I guess you have to. But I try not to. Yes, it's more of a challenge. Okay, bye. Once again, these are the part numbers. This is the big O-ring, and this is the small one. You know, when these heat up, they'll expand and seal. Because this O-ring, it hardly was even past the surface of the cover. I'm like, how's that going to work? But I guess they expand when they heat up. That's why sometimes when you put an O-ring in, and then you take it out, you can't get it back in because it expanded. I learned that with a float bowl O-ring. Okay, bye. Okay, one more thing. I removed my air filter. This obviously isn't original from the factory. The factory had that big air box with a big rectangular filter in it. So you definitely remove that. You're going to have to give yourself access. But you could see I have an extended socket, 14 millimeter. And my 3/8 extension, and here's the torque wrench with a 1/4 to 3/8 adapter on it, and I'm just going to torque it to 34 foot-pounds. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Alright, everybody, the car's warmed up. I mean, that's all the old oil, don't look at that, but it will be dripping right from the bottom of the circle of the cover, and it's sealed nicely. I'm going to let it run for a little bit just to make sure, but I think it's a job well done here. Thank you for watching. So if you ever get a leak from your oil transfer housing, it's not that bad of a job. Bye-bye.